As a child, I contracted polio when I was 4 years old, so I grew with a disability. I had to go to a rehabilitation center, and my years were spent between the rehabilitation center and going back home. So, as a result of that, I also got another family. I grew up with a whole cohort of children around my age, some younger, some older, a few adults too who had polio. And I'm still connected to that family up to this point in time. Having a disability, I encountered many challenges, but luckily for me, I had a family that was really, really very supportive. So it wasn't difficult to get to the school I wanted to go or to move on from school to university and then get a job. However, not everyone was as fortunate as myself. There were several children who were left at the rehabilitation center. They actually grew up there and never had any connection with their parents after that. When I started working, I realized it was a different world I'm entering. While I was at home and at school, there were my parents to protect me, to help me with any accessibility challenge I encounter. However, when I went out into the world to work, I realized that these challenges were real. Even when I went to the university, I had a class that was on the third floor of the building, my sociology class. And it never occurred to me that I could have asked to have that class move down to the first floor. Instead, I would go very early so I could climb all those flights of stairs. So I had a very good friend. Well, we're still friends, Huntley Forrester, who also has a disability. And he went away to London to study. When he came back, the disability movement had just gained momentum in England. So he came back and wanted to start the movement in Jamaica. I was really very shy and didn't want to be upfront involved in anything like that. But he kept saying to me, "You're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others." And then I really saw the wisdom in that, that if I went and spoke out about the or inaccessible environment, then it would allow people to know what it is we want to make us function better. And at that time, there was a slogan that was developed: "Nothing about us without us." So we took it on, and I went out there and started advocating for people. It was really difficult for me because I hated being seen in public like that, upfront speaking out. But I realized it's something I had to do, so I did it. In New York City, I am a disability advocate. So my job involves advocating for people with disabilities. My friends often tease me that it's the first person they have seen who is working their passion. And that is indeed so. Each year before the pandemic, well, up until 2019, we would go to Albany with a group of advocates to meet with legislators to discuss bills and to advocate for funding for our organization. Another aspect is advocating for accessibility. We have advocated for accessible curb cuts in New York City in all 5 boroughs. Right now, one of our main campaigns is for accessible subway stations, where we would have elevators at each station. There are challenges to my ministry in that sometimes Although we advocate for things, it takes a very long time to get the result that you want. Although we have laws in place, sometimes people don't know about them. And it takes someone to bring this information to them. I have a monthly meeting with advocates. Each month we meet on the third Wednesday, and here I'm able to listen to the concerns that they have, and I'm able to address the concerns that they have. So, what brings me joy is when I'm able to solve a problem that somebody has, and I am able to see them get a job and to just live their lives independently. So that's joy for me. Many of the people who come into my office, they are sometimes homeless. They are people who we would consider the least and the lost and the last. But when they come to my office, I always try to make everyone feel very special and important. Nothing is more important than when somebody feels recognized as a person and feel that they are loved. So I really do love being a deaconess because it allows me to just live Christ's mission to attend to the least, the lost, and the last.